A very good evening, very good morning to other side of the world, everybody, those who are joining our webinar. 13th webinar organized by the National Photographic Art Society of Sri Lanka. So we always try to get a photo artist from overseas and those who are on different subjects. And this time, Don Davies from Philippines. And I met him during Crossing Bridges events. Is a gathering of photographers from Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Vietnam, Sri Lanka, South Korea, Taiwan, and Australia. So we all gather once a year in one of the member countries, and we have a photographic tour, custom made for photography. So this time it will be in Singapore. So talking about Don Davies, he's a silent character, but he's a very good photo artist. If I describe him as a high-end photo artist, let's invite Mr. Don Davies to carry on with his presentation. Don, it's over to you.
Good evening and good morning to everyone. Yes, so like Bandu said, my name is Don Davies. I'm primarily a portrait photographer, but for the last couple of years, I've been concentrating more on fine art, especially conceptual fine art portraits. Right. So what I'll be discussing this evening is basically is the art of conceptual fine art portraits. So this is what I do, how I start, from the start until the end. I'll show you, the things that are needed, the process that I go through, to come out with my portraits. So first of all, okay. So for me, my definition of conceptual fine art photography, it's not about capturing the moment, but rather capturing the vision of the photographer. So for me, conceptual fine art portrait photographies, the photographer, who is me, thinks about, okay, this is my vision. This is what I want my end result to look like. So that's where it starts. It starts with me. Even if, let's say, the shoot is for a client, so I discuss with the client. Okay, the client tells me, oh, I saw some of your photos. I like to do this and that, and then we discuss. But at the end of the day, it's still my vision that that transfers into what the client wants. So the vision of the photographer is really critical. The setup of the shoot, the lighting, and everything. So the key elements for a conceptual fine art portrait is first the vision and the idea. Right? So for me, it's I sit down, I think, okay, what do I want to shoot? How do I want to portray it? What is the end result? And then from there, because I do a lot of my shoots now in studio, so I think now, okay, after I have a concept, a vision, I now look, okay, what type of background do I want to use? Do I just want to use a plain gray background? Do I want to use a background that has a specific design? And then from there, once I've selected, okay, this is my vision, this is the background I want to use, then I now look for the different props for my setup. So if the shoot that I want to do involves setting up some props, then I need to go through that. because when I do my shoots, well, there's two types. I usually do just concept using the gowns. So I have a designer that provides the gowns for my shoots. Okay, so that's the next key element, the clothes, because it's important to have, you know, the right outfit, the right clothes for the concept. You know, you don't want to shoot, let's say, I'm thinking I want to shoot a steampunk concept, but then the gown is high fashion. So, you know, it does not it does not make sense. Okay. And then after I've gone, you know, I have the vision, the background, the props, the clothes. This is the only time I look for my subject or for my model. Why? Because for me, it's important to have the subject or the model match the concept. You know, not everyone is suited for a particular concept. So it's very important that I have a clear idea first of what the concept is, what I want the shoot to look like, and then I look for a model. Now, usually I have, you know, a group of models that I contact whenever I have my shoots. This applies as well to clients. If I have a client that comes, oh, I want this, you know, I want this concept. If that concept doesn't suit the client, then I tell them, no, you know, it's not going to come out nice. Then I suggest a different concept. Okay. Then after that, I think of the lighting. You know, what kind of lighting do I want to use? Do I want to use continuous or strobe? Because I shoot with both. I shoot with continuous and I shoot with strobes as well, depending on, again, what I want the output or the outcome of the photograph to be. Because I find that if I shoot with continuous lights, it gives me a more toned down portrait. You know, it makes it look more like painting rather than if I shoot with strobe, because the strobes are more powerful. So, you know, there. And then, you know, after all of that, of course, there's the post-processing to now bring out my vision. Now, when I do post-processing, I don't spend hours, you know, post-processing. My process is very simple. I just, you know, make use of a few actions, overlays, and that's it. You know, if I, especially if I can get what I'm looking for on the shot the first time, then it makes it easy. It makes it easy for post processing. I don't do a lot of let me say this. You know, changing the background or what have you. Composite. I don't do a lot of composites. Usually, if I want to change the background, I just change the color, or I just put a simple overlay on the background. And I'll show you a few examples of that later. So when I start, like I said, I think of a vision, what I want to shoot, my idea, and then I look for the background. So usually my backgrounds, I get it from Kate Backdrop, because they have an assortment of different backgrounds that suit uh, my style of shooting and the concepts. I tend to like shooting a lot of Renaissance portraits. So, that's why a lot of my backgrounds cater to that. Then, once I have now, okay, this is the background I want to use, then I start to set up. So I can use either just a simple background, or a background with a design. It's like that. And then it can be as complicated as having this setup right now. So this is the backdrop that I envision, and then I work with someone who provides me with all the flowers. So we discuss, okay, this is my background, this is my vision for the shoot. Okay, I want to set up flowers here, and there, like a garden setup, and then she does that. So that's why my shoots are unique in the sense that it does, even if I use the same background, it's not the actual shoot itself will not be the same. So this is another example. Again, for this, when I saw this background, I immediately envisioned, okay, this is how I want to shoot it. So we set up, since it's a room, the background actually is a room with flowers. So I said, okay, we need to add flowers, and then of course, add some props, to make it feel more like it's a room. Okay, so once I've come up with, like I said, the backdrop, the setup, and everything, then I talk to my designer on what clothes I want. So of course, like I said, the clothes must fit the concept, must fit the background, the design, the setup, and everything. What's nice with my designer is she has hundreds of dresses, and she actually does a lot of Renaissance gowns, vintage gowns. So it's so easy to work with her. Actually, I've had, aside from my designer, there's actually two designers that have actually requested that I shoot their gowns, and luckily their gowns actually fit into my style as well. Okay, now comes the lighting. So for lighting, very basic concepts. These are the types of lighting I use. Again, depending on what I envision. So I can either use the butterfly lighting, the loop lighting. Bando, if I'm going too fast, let me know.
No, this speed is okay.
Okay, thank you. Rembrandt lighting, and of course the clamshell lighting. The clamshell I don't use so much because I tend to like shooting full body shots. Because I like to show off as well the gowns. So, like I said, for lighting, I actually use either strobe or continuous lights. For strobes, I use Godox, the 8600 and the 8400. My primary will be the 8600. So I see, because I usually shoot one light. My shoots are either one light. If I feel the need to add another, fill light, then I just add an 8400. But most of the time, I shoot with just with the 8600. And then for continuous lights, I like using the Amaran 200D and the 60D. So for continuous lights, I shoot with two because continuous lights are not as powerful. So there's a tendency to have some dark areas. So I need to fill that in, and I just fill it in with a 60-watt continuous light. Okay. Now modifiers, I just use the basic, softbox, octabox. But my favorite really are the parabolic. So most of my modifiers are parabolic. I just like the shape that it provides, the shape of the light. So I can use anywhere from a 60 cm to a I think the biggest one I used was a 7-foot parabolic. And then of course at times, again, depending, I use a deep parabolic. I use a deep parabolic if I want to soften more the shadows, because with the parabolic tendency is, the light is still a little bit harsh, but with the deep parabolic, it makes it even softer. Okay, so that's the process that I go through when I take the photos. So now once I've taken the photos, I now of course do some post-processing. And like I said, I don't do a lot of heavy post-processing. I don't spend hours post-processing a photo. I use a lot of filters, actions, and then overlays. So usually I spend just about 15-30 minutes at the most, depending. The 30 minutes is depending on if I got the shot correct or not. Because sometimes, we're all human. It's you don't see the actual shot until you've uploaded it to your computer and you say, oh, there's something wrong here. Okay, so this is one shot. So this is the raw, straight out of the camera. So it's the concept here was Chinese empress.
I told you I already lost.
And then I just used a simple floral background. And then after post-processing, this is what it looks like. So I just did some skin retouching. I removed this part of the chair, and then I just overlaid a brown color to give it a warmer tone, and that's it. So here again, Japanese concept. So same thing. I just did some skin retouching because for me, everything was okay. I just do some skin retouching, and then I like warm tone in my photos. So if you'll notice, if you look at my photos on Instagram and on Facebook, you'll see that I like it's mostly warm tones. I have very few that are not that are either cool or not warm, but most of my shots are all warm tone. So here, this one, I just used a plain, this is an ordinary background. This is a hand-painted background. And then this one, the only thing I did here was, again, smoothing the skin, and then adding an overlay on the back. That's all. Because I like the colors and everything. So when I think of the concept for my shoot, when I say, the clothes, it includes everything. What accessories, the hair. I have a lot of wigs. So, if I feel that this concept needs, this type of hair, so I have a wig for that. So again, another example. This is just a simple collapsible background. So again, if you notice here, so with this concept, we have to do the hair and everything, the accessories. It's all part of the concept. So with this same thing, just skin softening, and I just placed an overlay. Again, not really composite, but just overlay background onto this. So I still keep some of the effect of the background. Now, you might notice and you might ask, oh, how come the skin tones don't match? Again, it depends on the concept. So for this concept, this is a Renaissance type of concept of shoot, and in those days, it was really very white makeup. Because I've had some people, approach me, ask, oh, why is the skin tone different? That's not the skin tone of the model. Yes, because, this is actually a conceptual shoot. So you need to match everything to the concept. So again, same thing, just a collapsible background. This one, I had to do a little bit more editing because I felt the black hair wasn't right, and it needed to be red. So I had to make the hair red. And that's the only thing, that difficult thing I had to do here. Otherwise, it's just, again, skin retouching and applying an overlay for the background. Now, when I apply overlays for the background, sometimes I can get away with just applying the overlay, and when I set the blend mode to soft light, it actually is clean on the subject, so I don't need to clean the subject. Or if there's a little bit of I can still see a little bit of the back of the overlay on the subject, I just erase that. So I don't cut out the subject and then place the background. Okay, and then again, another one. This one, I think, was a gray background. I used a gray background here. And then, so it's important as well, to have a good team. I'm lucky I know a lot of makeup artists as well. So depending on the concept, there's a particular makeup artist that I use, because I know they can, I just tell them this is what I want, and then I know they can bring out the vision. So here, same thing, just the plain background, and then again, just add an overlay. So you can see it still keeps all these, the lines and markings from the original backdrop are still seen here, because I just overlay the background and then just use the blend mode of soft light. Now, one thing you'll notice as well is I like shooting underexposed. I prefer to bring out, the highlights myself in post-processing, rather than I have it, exposed right, then I feel, oh, I need to bring it down. It's a little harder. I find it easier to, to shoot underexposed and then just bring out the highlights in post-process. So again, a Renaissance concept, plain background, and then so this one is just, again, skin retouching and then overlaying the background. Okay. So this one's using now one of the backgrounds that I got from Kate Backdrop. And then this one, again, a lot more editing, but not too complicated. So, I just added the lights, the moon. The moon, actually, I just added it to emphasize it more, because on the backdrop, it's not that emphasized. And that's it. Again, I overlay brown tone to give it that warm feel. Okay, so this one, this was a shoot. She wanted to do a forest, like a forest fairy concept. So this is inside the studio. So again, I just used a backdrop. This is a backdrop of a castle. And then I just told my set designer, okay, this is not just flowers. This needs to have trees. It's a forest. So she actually built a lot, like some trees. So if you're actually going to see this, you think there's a lot of trees inside the studio. Now this one, like I said, there are some times that I don't make the photo warm, because I felt this would look better cool rather than warm. So again, another example. These are now the complicated setups. So you think, if you look at this, you think, oh, it's a lot of post-processing that went into this. No. This was very fast to do. So it's just retouching and then overlay of this. Again. So this one, simple again, just add the light, the wings, and then the color tone. Okay, this one, the reason I show this one was a very special shoot. The model actually requested for this concept. She wanted to do she actually wanted to do a tattoo shoot. She doesn't have any tattoos, but she wanted to do a shoot where she had tattoos. So when we talked about it, I said, okay, let's do a Japanese themed shoot. You want tattoos? Okay, let's see what we can do. She actually initially planned on having the tattoo drawn. So not a permanent tattoo, but a temporary one drawn. I was actually thinking of getting one of those. You can get those bodysuits with tattoos already. So that was another option. But I felt it might be too obvious, or it might not look nice. So on the day, she can, oh, I didn't get my, my back tattoo. Said, no, don't worry, we can do that. So this is what I did. I just placed a tattoo on her back. So again, if you notice, underexposed shot, because I wanted to bring out the highlights myself and make it look like a paint.
All right, good.
So butterfly lighting, it's actually like this. Let's see if I have one. Okay, this one. This is actually the butterfly lighting. So the light is on top, in the center. So the subject or the model will be sitting here.
Yeah.
And the lighting is here directly above and in the center of the model. So it produces, the butterfly shadow under the nose.
The guy says, thank you.
Mostly I use loop lighting.
Oh, I see.
My shots. So I set the light about 45 degrees, camera right or camera left, depending on the background, because I need to follow, the lighting on the background. So sometimes, most of the time, because most of the time I like shooting with my light on the camera right, and most of my backgrounds have, either there's no obvious, light on the background, or most of the time the light on the background is on the right side. But I have like 2 or 3 backgrounds where the light is on the left side on the background. So with that, I have to move my main light camera left, and then of course that means adjusting the position of the model.
Yeah. Don, another spectator is asking, are you using generative AI for editing your photos? Artificial
No.
intelligence. Yeah.
Yeah, not yet. I have tried, but I don't like, the way it looks. I still prefer just, if I shoot on a plain gray background and I want to, put something there, I still prefer to download some backgrounds. I get my backgrounds as well from digital backgrounds from Etsy.
Okay.
So I download from there, and then I still prefer using that. But like I said, I don't apply it as a composite, but rather as an overlay.
Another participant is asking, can you please explain the aperture, shutter, and ISO settings on these shoots?
Oh, okay. So yeah, good question. I forgot that. Now, usually I shoot at f8.
F8.
F8. Now, because the reason is the backdrop itself is actually I actually use 10 feet by 8 feet backdrops. Okay, so a lot of these backdrops are low resolution.
Yeah.
So meaning when they print it on that big canvas, it's actually a little blurred already. So that's why, I said, okay, then I can use f8. My ISO, it depends. If I'm using strobes, I go as high as 400. Okay. Again, it depends. It depends on how I want the photo to turn out. If I'm using continuous lights, because continuous lights are have lower power, I go to about 800. I try not to go more than 800. So 800. And then for my shutter speed, if I go, I keep it at the at my camera's shutter sync speed, which is about 125, because I'm using a Fuji. So I keep my shutter speed at 125. If I'm shooting with continuous lights, my shutter speed is lower. Again, because continuous lights have lower power, so I need to bring in more light.
One participant is asking, what kind of clients want to do these type of photo shoots? I mean, what sort of client, what's your clientele, those who are asking for photo shoots like
Yeah.
this?
Well, it depends. I have because here we have things like pre-debut. So 18-year-old girls, they have when they turn 18, they have a party for that, and
Right.
they like to do shoots.
Yeah.
That's one. Another one, another clients I have are those that want to do their prenuptial photos. So they're tired of the ordinary, shoot outside, shoot outdoors. They want something special, something different. So those are the ones that ask for this.
Another guy is asking, can we do this outside, outdoors?
Oh, yes, you can. Actually, wait, can I close this? I will show you one. So this one was done outdoors.
Oh.
So what we did, we set up, the bed, the flowers, the chandelier, everything. So this was done in one of our local parks here.
Okay.
Of course, again, part of the editing is, like I said, I like it warm. So I tend to change the colors of the leaves. So the leaves aren't orange, actually. They're actually green. And I just change it in post-processing. So here I used, one light.
Yeah.
And then one light, and I use high-speed sync. Because I want to, this was a very sunny day, as you can see here, very bright areas. So it's a very sunny day. So I had to, my ISO was 100, my shutter speed was like, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 2,000 or 4,000.
Mm-hmm.
Then I used an AD4, the AD400 with a parabolic modifier. Then it was set on high-speed sync.
Okay, done. Number of questions are coming up.
Okay, keep coming.
Yeah, one is asking, what is the mode? Aperture priority, shutter priority, or manual?
Oh, manual.
Manual, okay.
Manual, yes. I always use manual.
Good.
Because like I said, I always like to shoot underexposed. So I prefer shooting manual.
So the same person who asks about AI is asking, what is your opinion of generating conceptual fine art portraits using AI?
Well, yeah, I mean, right now, I think, it's you need to be careful because, a lot of people now think that, oh, that's not a photo, that's AI generated. I mean, personally, I don't think it's bad. It's just, how it's being used and how other people, look at AI. Because tendency now is, you post a photo and a lot of people will say, oh, that's AI. That's not, that's not real. Why? Because of the way it was edited. Again, it's a conceptual shoot. There's a specific vision that you're looking at. Yes, it might look a bit AI, but if you really look closely, it's not AI. But I mean, once it AI has really improved a lot, I mean, it could help. Uh, for me, I think it would be a good tool in the future. Right now, not so much yet. Uh, you know, but in the future, I mean, I would actually use AI now to generate backdrops, the backgrounds, and then have them printed. Yes, that's one way I would use AI right now.
Are these shoots tripod mounted or handheld?
Oh, it depends on the camera I'm using. I shoot with the Fuji GFX.
Okay.
So I have the GFX 100 and the GFX 100S. If I'm using the 100, then I put it on a tripod.
That is medium format.
Yeah, medium format. Yeah, medium format. So if I shoot with the GFX 100, which is the big one, then I use a tripod for that. Otherwise, I just shoot handheld. Because I prefer actually shooting handheld because it doesn't restrict me in terms of, if I need to move closer, further back, move to the side a bit. It's easier. Because I like to shoot fast. I don't like spending so much time, just I'm not the type of photographer that spends 30 minutes just to get one shot. I mean, if you're doing landscape, that's a different story. But when you're doing portraits, you want to have it set up, shoot.
You are taking time. More time means you are tiring the model.
Yes.
Beyond Berenger, another participant is asking, is fine art photography limited to Renaissance era of fantasy art styles, or can it be applied to any other theme?
Oh, no, it can be applied to any other theme. Again,
I have seen a number of dresses, costumes, and accessories that you have been using for your shoots. I think everything is available in Manila freely, right?
well, not really. A lot of it I get from Amazon.
Is that so?
Yeah. From Amazon. I've gotten a lot of headbands from Amazon. Wigs I get from Amazon.
Okay. I thought there's one single supplier stationed in Manila.
No. I just look. I see in Amazon if it's if I feel that okay, it's not too expensive, then fine. Then of course Shopee. We have that here. You can get a lot of things from there as well. So here is one. Again, this is fine art as well.
Okay.
So this was Lara Croft concept. She wanted to shoot as Lara Croft.
අපේ මම සිංහලෙන් කතා කරොත් අපේ ශිෂ්‍ය ශිෂ්‍යාවන්ගේ එහෙම මොන හරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් සිංහලෙන් මොන හරි ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න තියෙනවා නම් කියන්න. භාෂාව බැරියර් එකක් කරගන්න එපා.
කාටවත් ප්‍රශ්න අහන්න ඕන නම් හෑන්ඩ් රේස් කරලා අහන්නත් පුළුවන් නේ බන්දේ.
ඔව්. ඕනේ භාෂාවකින් අහන්න ඒක ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. මොකද ඒකට අපිට ඉන්ටර්ප්‍රිට් කරලා කියන්න පුළුවන්. verbally කියන්නේ ටයිප් කරන්න නැතුව කෙලින්ම මයික් එක ඔන් කරලා ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනම් ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න.
භාෂා ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. ඕන භාෂාවකින් අහන්න ඕන කෙනෙකුට අහන්නත් පුළුවන්.
It's for the photo editing. Are you using templates or something like that in Lightroom or Photoshop?
Yeah, I don't edit in Lightroom. Actually in Lightroom, or I actually use Capture One. What I only do there are the basic adjustments. So you know, the highlights, the exposure, the whites, the blacks, the shadows, and then all the editing I do in Photoshop. So I have you know, some filters that I use, and some actions, and then a lot I use overlays a lot.
So when you do shoots, so do you always tether, or without tether also you are doing it?
If it's a client shoot, I tether. So, but again, it depends. So that the client can see it. But if it's my own shoot, then no, I don't shoot tether. I just show the, you know, once I take the shot, I show the model.
So in Capture One, do you have your own presets, or just on the time of the shoot, if you feel that okay, I want to boost up some highlights, so you just amend it at there, or you have your own preset?
No, I don't have my own preset. I just make the changes. So after the shoot, I upload the photos, and then since I shoot raw, so when I go into Capture One, the first thing I do is, and since I shoot Fuji, I select the film simulation. So I most of the time I prefer using the negative, the Pro Neg standard. But again, it depends. You know, it depends on the shoot. But most of the time, I use the Pro Neg standard, and then from there, I adjust the highlights. So I bring the highlights down to 0. Then if I need to bring up the shadows a little bit, then I do that there. So once all of that is, you know, okay with me, then I export that, and then I do all the editing in Photoshop. So in Photoshop, usually I would, you know, like I said, the first thing I do is the skin retouch. So I use there are 2 plugins that I use. One is Skin Finer. That's the primary one that I use. And then the other one is ImageNomic Portraiture. The ImageNomic Portraiture, I use that as secondary, because there are times when I use Skin Finer, it destroys the photo. It doesn't edit it properly for some reason. I don't know why. But if I use the ImageNomic Portraiture, then it comes out clean. And then after that, I would add the overlay. Like I said, I use a brown colored overlay to change the tone to warm. So I use soft light blend mode for that. And then if I need to add you know, like the highlights, the sun rays, and what have you, there are actions that I use for that.
Vikum is asking, do you use Fuji color profiles?
Yes. So that's the first thing I do. So when I upload, after I upload my photos, I import all of it into Capture One, and then I select, you know, what photos I want to edit, and then I start making the adjustments there. The first adjustment is choosing the color profile. So like I said, I prefer the Pro Neg standard. You know, but it depends. And then yeah.
Don Sampath is there in the audience. I think you may have met him at Crossing Bridges. So he's asking how to make the light very soft.
Well, again, it all depends on your modifier. So I like using large modifiers. I only use I have small modifiers, but I rarely use it. I like using the large modifiers, and I keep them as close as possible to the subject. So there. So if you can see, I have the light as close as possible to the subject. So the subject will be here, and the light is here. I put this again. I can't put it too close because otherwise it's going to be caught in the shot. But for me, that's close enough. And then aside from using a large modifier, putting it close, I feather it so it's not actually hitting the subject, but rather the edge of the modifier is the one that's hitting, so it's lighting the subject just a little bit.
How you handle the light if you have a shoot with harsh light during a shoot? He
Outside?
must be talking about outdoors, yes.
Yeah. If it's outdoors, I just use high-speed sync.
So Berenja is asking, is shooting underexposed a preference or a general rule of thumb?
Well, for me, it's a preference because, like I said, I prefer shooting under and then adjusting the highlights, in post-processing. It gives me more control, and I get because if I shoot underexposed and then I bring up the highlights in let's say Lightroom or Capture One, I still get the details. But if I shoot, let's say even if you shoot normal, and then sometimes it comes out, exposed and you want overexposed and you want to bring it down, you lose some of the detail.
Are you using a light meter for your photography?
No, I don't use light meter. Well, because right now with the digital cameras, you can easily see the exposure already, so if it's correct or what.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, since I'm not shooting like a standard portrait, so meaning the lighting and the shadow that I'm looking for is different. So that's why it's easier just to look at the output in the camera and make the adjustments there. Because tendency is, if you use a light meter, it's going to give you, okay, this is the correct exposure, the correct settings and everything. And when you shoot, it gives you a standard photo, a standard portrait.
I'm not the organizer, but I who coordinated Don for this webinar, and the organizer is the National Photographic Art Society of Sri Lanka. Thank you. Sanka is the person who is behind this project. So he's the one who is coordinating and organizing this. There are any situations where shooting overexposed in significantly better?
Better. For me, no. Because like I said, if you shoot overexposed, you lose the details. So that's why I prefer shooting under, so that I still keep the details. Especially, in the gowns that I use. So usually there are a lot of details there. And if I shoot overexposed, I lose those details, especially on the white. If you're shooting a white dress, with all the ruffles and everything, if that's overexposed, you bring it down, you lose all the.
You're not interested in high key pictures?
Well, again, it depends. I have a few high key shots.
Okay.
Because again, at the time when I did that shoot, I said, okay, this would work as a high key,
Mhm.
as a high key shot.
Right, Mario, what?
John, according to what you explained, this most of your clients request photos of commercial nature. Have you ever had there been any request to do a photo in an artistic nature? As you explained, most of your clients, you explained about two types of clients. One, the teenagers, then the prenuptial shots that you have been requested.
Yes.
And also another question now, you were referring to these Chinese concepts and Japanese concepts and Renaissance concepts. So all those concepts will need a lot of knowledge in those particular areas. How do you sort of build your knowledge to get the costumes right, to get the lighting right, to get the moods right, to get the models right? It seems a very difficult, tedious process.
Yes. Well, for the costumes, I have a designer. She has hundreds of costumes. So, I'll just tell her, I want to shoot this concept, and then she'll look into her vault of clothes, and then say, okay, here, this is what I have. And then I say, okay, yes, I want that, I want this, and then she brings it, we shoot. Now in terms of, okay, we have the clothes, we have the accessories, we have the look and everything, how do I now visualize, that shoot? Because of course, you're shooting, let's say a Chinese concept is different from Renaissance concept and what have you. I just look in the internet, I just Google and look for inspiration. And then from there, I say, okay, this is how they do it. Then I try to apply it, and so actually, my makeup artist that does this, that's why I only get him for special shoots, is because it takes him hours just to do the makeup. So like this one, it took him about 4 hours to do this.
Yeah, especially the painting around the eyes, no?
Yeah. Whereas, like this one's also complicated. This one is simple. So this one's just like, an hour. The hair was the one that was complicated.
Yeah.
This one again, simple as well. The hair was just a wig, so it's easy. But yeah, I have different makeup artists for the different concepts.
First one is that how many hours are going for the shoot, and the second one is how many hours going for the planning. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. For the shoot, again, it depends. It can range from anywhere between 5 to 7 hours. Only because my designer, when I talk to her, say, okay, bring 3 dresses. She comes with 10. So, then we start to shoot and shoot and shoot. We end up, we've already, used up 5-7 hours. Now for the planning, again, it's for me, it's not really that complicated, because like I said, I have certain people that do certain things. So I think about the concept, okay, and then I talk to my designer. Given the concept, I look, okay, which makeup artist will I use? Then I talk to them, and then if the setup needs, like all the flowers and everything, then I talk to the one that does that setup. So it's not really, it's not all down to me sitting down and saying, oh, this is what I want to do, draw. No. I have certain people that I talk to that help me out, and that makes it a lot easier.
How many photos are taken for one project? Just
Oh,
like
yeah.
how many shots?
Minimum 300. Minimum 300. Because I just like to make sure that I get the shot, because I don't want to, let's say, take one shot, because sometimes when you look at it in the camera, you think, oh, it's good. Then when you upload it, you'll see that it's blurred. See, so that's why I always want to make sure. So I take a lot of shots in case when I upload it, the one I like, oh, it's blurred, I can't use that. Then at least I have other shots too. So minimum, well, again, but that's not, the 300 is not just with one concept, because again, we're talking here, usually when I shoot, it's not just one dress. It's usually there's about 3 to 5 dresses. So the minimum of 300 shots is, for across the whole day.
Actually, when Sumindu was asking that question, I thought initially it's a silly question, but it's not a silly question, but it's a very important question. Very important point.
Yes.
Yes, very important point.
Because it happened to me already. I took let's say, like, oh, I'll take 5 shots. When I uploaded it, so it's like, oh, 4 were not that good. It didn't focus right. It didn't focus on the eye. It didn't. Because remember, you're looking at a very small screen. Even
Yeah.
if you try to zoom in on the back of your camera, you see sometimes it still shows you that it's oh, it's good. It's in focus. But when you upload it, yeah, thank you as well for having me, and thank you everyone for
Thank you,
your
Don.
time and listening. I hope you all enjoyed, and
Yeah, we enjoyed a lot, and it's a very good presentation. Thank you.
And it was a very good informative presentation, and the subject was very interesting. So thank you very much, Don, sparing your valuable time to do this presentation for the society,
it's my
National
pleasure.
Photographic Art Society of Sri Lanka. Thank you very much.
Hello, nice.
Thank you very much, Don, accepting our invitation. And it's a wonderful presentation, and your explanation is very clear. And I think there are a lot of students of our society, and our photography course is with us. So I think it's a good presentation, and with a lot of details and a lot of knowledge.
Well, thank you for having me. It's an honor to speak to your photography society.